Hi, and welcome back to another series of jPlay. As you might be seeing already, I will do a playthrough of Walnut from Lookout Spiele. And this is something I wanted to try out for quite a while now, so I'm really happy that I can start a playthrough session of this one. It's a bit lighter than some of the other Euro-style games out there, but still a lot of fun. I have not played it very often, I have to admit, so I'm definitely not an expert again, and yeah. Hope still some of my moves will make sense and I don't make too many mistakes for the rules. The rules are not pretty long, so I think they're actually only written on maybe 4 pages or 5 pages or so. Good thing is they come in English and German, so for both this is definitely a language independent game, which is good. And yeah, still there are some little unclarities about the rules, so I had to consult the FAQs that one of the designers put on Board Game Geek, luckily, and I think with that I should be able to do a proper playthrough of Walnut Grove. So I think this time I won't do any unboxing, I will not do any major rule explanation. Again, I will do that as I play. Hope you look forward to that, and yeah, let's get started. Let's have a look at the setup of the game. This is our farm, and I decided to go for a solo play in this playthrough of Walnut Grove, and the only differences in respect to a multiplayer game or 2, 3, 4 player game is that you have to achieve a certain amount of victory points by the end of the game. I think you win the game when you have at least 25 points. I have to confess that's not easy. I have not played this game very often. I did it only once or twice to do some test plays to get around the rules and such. So don't expect me to actually win this game. Each player starts with a farmer here and 1 blue laborer, and starts with 2 of these copper coins which have a victory point value of 0, so that's basically printed on that. During the gameplays, when you're actually buying goods or selling goods, the amount of that's printed on these coins does not really matter. So when you, for example, have to pay for the church bazaar or so, then it really doesn't matter if you pay that with a 0 copper coin, a 1 victory point silver coin, or even a 2 victory points gold coin. That's up to you. Only by the end of the game that's important what's printed on those coins. Additionally, you start with these different landscapes here. So there is for sheep, for fish, for grain, for stone and for wood. And you start the game with 1 firewood, which is important, for example, for the heating during winter phase, that your laborers have it warm and cozy at their campfire. And this is our town. Some of the components that are shown here, such as the laborers or these building tiles here or these improvement tiles, they will be drawn at random. So this is something that will change from game to game actually. So you have to face a different game scenario or objectives, or have to follow different strategic decisions for each game. So there is definitely some variability that's coming with this random setup here. Some of these buildings, like Joe Hansen's Mill or Joe's Saloon, do have some kind of an activation cost. For example, if you want to hire a laborer over here, and that doesn't matter if you go for this white one or blue one, also drawn at random, then you have to pay 1 sheep to actually hire this guy. And here at Johansson's Mill, if you want to go for a building tile over here, for example this little barn here, then you cannot see that, sorry, so here's the barn, then you have to pay a wood and a sheep to build that tile on your farm. Some of the buildings here, like the post office, they don't need an activation cost, they just provide you 2 goods of your choice, whatever you want to have. Your movement is done during the fall season of each year, and each time when you would pass these dollar symbols here, these coin symbols here, you have to pay 1 coin to even the town hall or the church on the other side of the town, and it really doesn't matter if you pay a coin that's worth a value of 0 or 2, that's really up to you. In the middle there's the space for the year discs. There are 4 with the letter A and 4 with the letter B, so the game goes over 8 rounds.
And each of these years have represent 4 seasons, so starting in spring and ending in winter, apparently. So I think let's have a look at the first year, and the first season would be spring. On top of that, this shows you what you are allowed during springtime. Then each player would go through the spring action, or in this case they can do that simultaneously. Then everyone would go to the summer phase to do some harvesting and so on. The next phase would be done in autumn, where you would move through the city and buy tiles or hire laborers. And the last action would be in winter, but there you only have to feed and prepare some firewood for your workers. So I think we can get started. Every other rule I think I will explain you while I play. So let's have a look of what we have to do in our first year in spring. And spring during this year is very simple. It says you can draw 4 landscape tiles from the back, and you are allowed to keep 2 of them. So let's do that. So let's draw our 4 tiles. So these, this and that. And we have to look at the year cycle one more time, because it says that when we go for sheep during this summer, then we would gain an extra resource for that. So that's definitely something we will look out for. Let's get back to our tiles and select 2 of them. For once I will go for this sea tile, because we need to feed our blue worker during fall, and he will eat twice the normal amount of food. So this is also reflected on the year cycle. So let's take this one, and I think we also should go for the bonus cube for the sheep. So let's take this green landscape tile over here as well. And the rest of the 2 will be just discarded. The first I will place it here, and the second one I will place here. And really, don't take me wrong here, I don't have really any clue at all about strategy in this game. So this is really something I think that might make sense, but it could be totally ridiculous. So whenever you see something that I could have done better or whatever, did some terrible strategic tactic mistakes, please let me know on my Facebook page, BGG, or in the YouTube comment section. So yeah, but be kind, really, I have not played this game very often. I just want to show you how it works and how the rules are actually working out. So I think this concludes already springtime. Next we would go to the summer phase, and during summer we will place our workers on the corresponding areas where we want to harvest some stuff. For once I think we want to go for this bonus die, or for this bonus cube of this summer. So I would definitely put the farmer on this sheep tile here. It really doesn't matter which kind of worker I would place somewhere. So it does not help to put a blue worker on the sea tile. That does not give you any bonuses at all. Next I can harvest the landscape where each worker is standing. So for once I can harvest now this sea tile over here, and as the sea tile consists of 2 tiles, so 1 and 2, I would gain 2 resources for that, and I would normally place those on the storage fields. So each of these or most of the landscape tiles have some storage room. This one here, for example, does not. If I wouldn't have any more space left, then I could still place a cube in the barn. And right now we only have this one barn here, so we have 4 storage spaces there as well. 2 of them are already occupied by our money, so we only have 2 left here. So that's definitely something where we should have an eye on to maybe extend our barn a little bit. So we could build a barn over here, and this would allow us for 2 extra spaces. And there is a second barn here on the right side as well, but also we have to build that during our town action during autumn. Let's have a look at our farmer. And the farmer would go for the sheep here, and of course there are also, this area consists of 2 tiles, so we would be allowed to take 2 of those resources, white resources. But as Summer showed us, when we go for this action, then we would be allowed to gain a bonus cube here, and this is what I will do. But there is no storage space left on this one, so this sheep needs to go to our barn, and this is over here, so there's only one space left in this barn, but this should not really be a problem. This was our summer action. Let's get over to the town for our autumn action. And during autumn we can move more or less freely throughout the city or the town, but we have to follow the clockwise order. We cannot stay where we are, so that's not allowed. And of course some of these buildings can only be used by one player, so this is represented by each of these spaces here. And whenever we would pass this symbol, I already explained that, we would have to pay a coin to move. Laborers are actually keyed when starting this game, and this is what I found out. So definitely I want to go for Joe's Saloon here, so I just can move there, so that's not a problem. I have not crossed anything special, so I can move there free. Then I would need to pay 1 sheep, which I will take here from the barn, and then I would be allowed to take a laborer here, and I already have a blue one, so I want to balance that out a little bit, so I will go for a white laborer this time. And this laborer will not be placed on the board but beside the board, so I don't have to feed him during this winter season. Only as of next year I can use him during the summer period, so for harvesting, but then I also have to have the appropriate amount of firewood, and also I would have to feed this guy with a white cube over there. So then we go over to winter, and during winter you have to do 2 things. For once you have to feed your laborers, and for second you have to feed the campfires, as long as these laborers are living beside the campfire. So each worker would now eat 1 good from your reserve that shows its actual color. So our blue worker will eat a blue stone. That's easy. But during this winter season it says the blue will eat twice the amount of the normal food, so he would eat 2 fish tokens. First of all, we will move all our guys here back, so black will go to the house and blue will go to the campfire. Now we would have to pay 2 fish symbols or 2 fish stones. Fortunately we have those, so they just go back to the common reserve. Additionally, we would have now to feed the campfire, and we have to feed each of these campfires where a worker is currently present. This only is valid as long as they live beside a campfire. Later on we could decide to build a house for these guys, and then we don't have to feed the campfires again, at least for this guy. Then over there, feeding the campfire is also simple. For each campfire you would lose 1 firewood. So this was already winter, and now we can place our white laborer to the next free spot over here. So you're not allowed to have more than 5 laborers, and here on the bottom it shows the spaces for the improvement tiles. I will show that to you in a second. Now let's get back to town and start a new year. This year disc will be discarded, and we will flip over the next one, and this is also tricky, so let me go through each of the season here. So during spring we would be allowed to draw 3 tiles and would be allowed to keep 1. We gain an extra resource for stone when going for harvesting there. When selling fish during a market action during town, we would gain an extra coin. And during winter the amount of food is normally the same, so each worker will eat 1 cube. But additionally we would have to feed the campfire 2 firewood additionally. So to our normal 2 campfires, so which already consume 2 firewood, we have to pay 2 additional firewood in this season. So this really can be challenging, so I think we definitely need some more firewood. Then let's start with spring and grab our 3 tiles. This is our first tile, second tile and the third tile. And I'm really thinking, because we really need this firewood tile over here. Fortunately we are only allowed to draw or keep 1 of those tiles, and I really need this one, I guess, because we need firewood. Let's take this tile, and I think let's place that. No, place it here. There might be a chance that we get a huge stone area here. Now let's get over to summer again. And this time we have 3 workers, which is good. So we will place 1 farmer here to the fishing ground. So this year we gain 2 of those resources, because there are still 2 landscape tiles. The second worker, or let's say the second worker, the first laborer, will go here to the wood. So this would allow us to draw 2 firewood. And I'm thinking of going for this stone over here. This gives us 1 stone, because this is only one tile actually, so that's a small area. But still, Summer says we would gain an additional stone when going for harvesting. So we will take this one, and this bonus stone of course has to go here in the barn. So I cannot place them on any other available stone areas over there. That's not allowed. As long as they are not connected somehow, they count as a completely different. And this is what I think might have done wrong already. Of course, I would go here and activate them, so I can place both of those stones over here. So completely forget what I just told you about placing this in the barn. Of course, I could also go for this area over there. Okay, this was already summer, so we produced some goods, and let's get back to town. And in town, I will sell some goods. Actually, I will only sell 1 good, and this will be a blue, so a fish resource. Normally, for each resource we would sell here, we would be allowed to draw a coin from the bag, so this would be a random pick. You're only allowed to sell 1 resource at a time. So I could go for yellow, a blue and white, but I could not sell 2 blue at this station. As our year disc says, for each blue resource you are selling, you gain an additional coin. That's why we are allowed to draw 2 coins from the reserve. And that's why I only sold 1 blue resource here, because we only have 2 spots free in our barn over here. So then I would have to discard 1 coin. Okay, let's draw our 2 coins from the bag. I will really do that at random. Our first coin, oh gosh, it's another 0 coin, so it does not provide any victory points by the end of the game. And the second one will be at least a silver coin. And the silver coin, if we are able to keep that until the end of the game, would give us 1 additional victory point over here. So this was our fall or autumn action. Now we have to resolve winter, and during winter all of our farmers and our laborers will go back to their houses or campfires. Then we have to feed them. This year there is no special condition, so the blue laborer eats a blue stone, the white one eats a sheep. Sounds nasty, but that's how it is. Now we have to actually feed the campfires for those. So this is now the standard action. So both of our laborers are working at the campfire, so they will consume 2 firewood completely. Unfortunately, the year disc says in winter you have to pay 2 additional firewood in order to keep everyone warm and cozy. So it's pretty cold winter, but there is no firewood left in our farm. Luckily we do have enough gold here, so for each resource we are missing we can now give 1 coin back. So these are some kind of jokers, and again it does not matter what value they show. I can, so for the first firewood I will pay this one, for the second firewood I will pay this one. So I bought some firewood somewhere else, so I think I will move this over here. And now I don't suffer any penalties because I could not feed or make it warm for our laborers. So this was the tough winter, and our second year. Let's get back to town. Discard this year disc here, turn over the new one, and this time it's a bit, though spring is the same, 3 tiles, keep 1. We gain an extra fish during summer. For each sheep you're going to sell, you get an extra coin. And during winter, each yellow worker would eat double amount of food. Luckily, we don't have a yellow worker. Also, we have to pay 1 additional campfire this year. Let's start with spring again and draw our 3 tiles. So these are our 3 tiles. And I think I will go for this tile over here because we can close an area in our farm. And this definitely would be good, which would allow us to gain an extra victory point by the end of the game. So let's grab that and place it here. So we have now closed this area with a fence here, so this is completely surround. I think this counts as going to the complete closing it, so I would assume that. It gives us the possibility later on to maybe close this section here as well, and also we extended our grain landscape tile over here. So this was definitely a good landscape tile we have drawn here. So now let's resolve summer again. And I think as we are getting a bonus resource for a blue, we will put this laborer over here. So again, doesn't really matter which color I put there. So I get now 3 resources because this now consists of 3 tiles, this area. So I put one here, put one here, put one here, doesn't really matter. And I gain my bonus star because of the year disc, and this is a 4th fish, and this is awesome. Really good amount of food, so I think I don't have to worry too much about feeding this guy for the next years. Now let's place our farmer. I think we will place the farmer over here, so we would be allowed to draw 2 yellow stones because this area consists of 2 tiles. And I think our 3rd laborer needs to go again to the woods here to gain 2 firewood because we need to feed the campfire for during next winter. So this was actually a very good summer phase, I have to admit. Let's get back to the town and move there as well. And I think I will go to the carpenter to buy myself a house or build myself a house. So we have to cross now the town hall space here. So I have to pay 1 coin. Doesn't matter which value it shows. Of course, I will discard the copper one first. And then I will finish my movement to the carpenter. I will pay a fish and a stone. These are the activation costs for this building over here. Again, I could go for a coin here for any resources. So if I would have a fish, I wouldn't have a fish, I could pay a coin there as well. But luckily I have enough resources, so I will grab the house. So, and I will build this over here. For once, this gives me victory points by the end of the game. And now I don't have to feed the campfire for this laborer over here. Still I have to feed him, but I don't have to spend an additional firewood for this campfire because there is no campfire anymore. So this was already our spring autumn phase. Now I have it, and now we have to resolve winter. Let's have a look at the disc again. Only yellow workers would eat double amount of food. We don't have any yellow workers, which is good, but of course we still need to pay an additional firewood to feed the campfires. So let's call everyone back. Black goes here. Blue I think will go here, but it really doesn't matter. White will go here. Still I have to feed both, so blue and white. So this white die goes here, a blue die goes here. Still I need to pay 1 firewood because this guy is living at a campfire. And I have to still pay 1 additional firewood because the year disc tells me so. But still, I don't suffer any penalty here, so I was able to feed all of the demands here, or we fulfill all the demands from my farm over here, which is awesome. Now we come to the 4th year, so this 3rd year will be discarded. As you see, this is the last A disc, so after that it will become a little bit tougher. And let's see what this year will bring to us. Again, we would be allowed to draw 3 tiles, keep 1. We would produce an extra firewood. This can be nice. We gain an additional coin for selling a yellow resource. And our white worker will eat double amount of food. And we would have to pay an additional firewood because of a relatively strong winter. So let's start with springtime. So these are our 3 tiles, and I think I definitely need some stone because I want to go for some improvement tiles. And so I think I will go for this one. I will place that one over here. So it's not a problem to have different areas beside each other, though this is really something you can do free. But of course, then this yellow space here would end here. So there's no chance to have a 3rd yellow tile over there. So this will remain a landscape that consists of 2 tiles. But we have our mountain here increased to 3 fields now, which can also be of great help here. So we will discard the other tiles and let's go to our summer planning. For once we need this dairy here. I think I interpreted this wrong. Yeah, it's dairy, so not really sheep. Sorry, my mistake. But for a moment they look more sheep-like me. So hopefully you can excuse that. So we gain again 2 of these stones. This is 2 areas. 1 worker goes here into the mountain, and therefore we would be allowed to grab 3 stones, because this area consists of 3 tiles, 1, 2, and 3. And I think the last one need to go here, and therefore we gain 2 or 3 wood. Sorry, because there is a bonus during this year's summer phase, and we can actually really use that quite good. So this was our summer phase. Let's see what we will do in town during autumn. And I definitely need to have some more coins. I wanted to go for one of these improvement tiles, but I think I don't want to have them. So I will rather go to this building here, and there I can sell a yellow, white, gray and a yellow one, and I will go for a stone and a yellow one. And this would allow me to gain 1 bonus coin, because here the year says so. So let's draw 3 coins. Luckily this time I can go for that. So that's 1 gold coin. Wow, that's cool. Another gold coin. Wow, that's awesome. And the third one is a copper coin. Okay, I think this was actually a good draw. I think we can use this copper coin in next turn to cross here. So I think this is not really bad. We will lose it anyhow. Still, we have to place the coins in our barn. So all 4 spaces are filled now, but I think that's not really a problem. Now we have to go over to winter again. So let's call home all our guys here. So blue and white. Again, I will have to pay 1, or let's start with food. So blue eats 1, white eats 2 because of the condition of this year disc. So luckily we have enough of those dairy tiles, so these would be discarded already. Then we would have to pay 1 firewood because he's living at the campfire, and an additional campfire because the year disc said so. Awesome, so we were able to again fulfill all the needs for our farmers and laborers, which is cool. And yeah, this was already the 4th year. So this disc will be discarded, and next year we'll start with a year disc with the letter B, so it gets a little bit tougher. This is something I think I will keep for the next video in this series. I will stop here, and I think during the next episode I will go through the remaining 4 years of this playthrough of Walnut Grove. Have a last look on our farm. I think we are doing not too bad actually, so there might be a small little chance that we maybe get to 20 points or so, but let's wait and see. Hope you enjoyed it so far. Hope it made a little bit of sense, the rules and how I explained those, and I would look forward to seeing you again in one of my next videos, and until then, bye bye.